like when you said that Keep Urban War, he didn't tell where he got it from. Like,
no,
he would have to search to know.
Yeah.
They Google Detroit versus Everybody, and then your guys' website or Instagram page came up, right?
Yeah.
Did you trademark it at this point?
So that's when I'm working. So I'm in, like I said, I'm in law school at the time. And I talked to one of my professors about doing it, and they said, like, that's simple. Like, I can show you how to do it. So sat me down, showed me the USPTO site, and made me an expert at it. Because it's just a matter of putting it in. So I did it. I did our first 2 trademarks, like versus everybody, Detroit versus everybody.
So you trademarked Detroit versus everybody.
And versus everybody.
And versus everybody.
Versus everybody, that's a little bit more complicated, right? Because that leads to anything to be versus
correct.
That was the easy trademark versus everybody?
I mean, yeah. Like, they went through, and it's just a matter of having your specimens and all that stuff, like application type.
So the specimens is like you got to have proof that you actually use it.
That you're using it in commerce.
With the tag on it.
Tags, registered trademarks.
I've been through this a few times. But this is the interesting part, because when you do something so wide scale, it usually becomes expensive. Was it pricey to get? I know Detroit versus everybody is very specific, but the versus could be pretty much universal. Anything versus everybody really is yours. So was it pricier to do that one?
It's pricey, not up front, but it's pricey on the back end, fighting all the cease and desist. So our legal fees, and that's why when we do anything licensing, like we do like a versus everybody for somebody, like we can't do it for free, because there's going to be a lot of like legal stuff, paperwork, and dealing with my lawyers that's going to go with that. So on the back end, it's very expensive.
Time consuming, expensive, you know what I'm saying, frustrating.
So when you guys put Detroit versus everybody, were there other people that started making Detroit versus everybody shirts?
Yeah. Yes. That happens daily.
Yes.
Like
what you learn is that it's a whole like industry of people that stand on the outskirts looking at what's about to happen.
Yeah, those domain buyers, like, I'm gonna buy a domain, you know those guys, like they sit there and they do this on purpose.
So
that's what they do.
Talk about how you guys dealt with that.
It's so now, I mean, it's annoying, but I kind of settled in with it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's getting the message out there, right? And then sometimes they even turn into opportunities. Like, we had a situation with the USA soccer, women's soccer. 2 of the players did a USA versus everybody. And they were selling crazy. So we went to them, like, you say, look, this is our brand, this is our IP. We're not coming after you, but like, let's just settle out on a deal. So we settled with them, and they paid us out, and then we just let them keep going, and they gave us a royalty. So sometimes you get opportunities like that, like even with the NBA. It happened a couple times. Like they did a know your versus everybody. Yeah. We didn't sue them. We just said, let's just settle. Like, pay us out, and then give to like a charity.
And that's the thing, is like, if you you know, if they have a big name, or, you know, they're like a team that they can't run, then it's a lot easier and it's more successful on the end with a payout. But it's like, it's the, you know, the people that's selling out their trunk, they're the ones who are like the hassle. They're just like, it's just tough. They don't care.
How you gonna find them?
And they know that, you know what I'm saying? And they'll build their whole life around that. Like, this one guy, you know, I opened up email, and he's like, man, hey, man, listen, I know this is wrong, but man, you know what I'm saying? And I know this is wrong, man, but I just appreciate you, man. Y'all helped me get my daughter through preschool, man. Like, through private school. And it's like, I don't know how to feel about that. You know, like, is it honorable for you to tell us that you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, am I grateful to the Most High that I was able to help a child get through private school, you know, because at the end of the day, that's our funds, but it's just a dirty game. That's what you realize, is that it's dirty, and you got to fight it whether or not you want to or not.
So how much money do you spend in legal fees?
It all depends on like what's happening. Like, we've been kind of dormant the past, I would say 2 years, but at our peak, man, we're probably spending like at least, on top of the retainer, like at least $15K a month.
A month?
Yeah, because I'm looking at it, it's like, this is crazy. Like, we're paying, like, and the lawyer, he's happy because but
it eats itself up. Yeah.
I ain't gonna front. Like, I wore this shirt that you have on in Africa, and we went to Jamestown. We were touring, and we went to this art district, and this dude.
You met my guy. That's my guy, Rashad.
Yeah. He told you?
No, I saw. So he posted it. Okay. Rashid's my guy. When every time I go to Ghana, I go to Africa a lot, right?
Okay.
Rashid's my guy. I met him in the art district and gave him and his guy some shirts. I'll show you the picture later.
Yes.
And now he's like, he calls me like, Sean, because we were supposed to do some events. So he posted on his WhatsApp.
Okay.
And I had just given you guys the shirts. And I'm like,
Yeah,
how do you know that guy? I sent him a picture and everything. I'm like, how do you know? He's like, yeah, man. I thought about you and I wore it. And, yeah.
It's crazy. So that day I wore it, and he took the picture and obviously sent it to you. But it made me think, like, internationally, obviously you're fighting this domestically, but like when you're trademarking, because even in business, most people don't know that, right? They think that they trademark it and I own this forever. But like, yeah,
it's a fight.
It's a fight domestically, but then you got to do it country by country too. So like, how's that process been? Obviously, now that I see, this is Africa versus everybody.
So the trick is we have an international trademark, right? For like e-commerce, right? So we can sell, we own the brand, like no one can sell it online, we can shut them down. But when you go into different territories or different spaces or different like countries, you have to assign it if you're selling there. So I've been going, like, as I've been moving around, I've been assigning a trademark. So I signed it in Liberia. I did it in Ghana. I'm in the process of doing it in Nigeria and South Africa. So that's important, but really the main territories that you need to be protected in is like the UK, US, and the EU. Because that's where like most...
I'm about to say China. A lot of conflict.
You can't really fight that. You know?
But what you do is, like, what you find out though is that if you can show that you have prior usage in any of these areas, if you can show that you have prior usage in any of these different areas, then you pretty much won the battle.
Yeah, and then like we're talking about some deal in Dubai right now, and I asked the lawyer, like, so what about the trademark? She's like, well, as long as you get a business registration here, you don't have to worry about that because they govern their trademarks and stuff a tad bit differently. So what I've learned as I've even been going and signing, I'm like, as long as I focus on US, EU, UK, and make sure that's tight, everything else will fall in line.
So, okay, so you have Detroit versus everybody, but what made you have the foresight to do just versus everybody? Because versus everybody is going to be a much more broad range situation as opposed to Detroit versus everybody. So whose foresight was that to trademark or even envision versus everybody just in general? It was
his.
That was like creatively. I always want to do things that have legs, like, you know what I mean? Like one of my favorite shows is like Seinfeld, and it's crazy to me that it's like a show about nothing, you know, but it's like, it's seriously, it's an amazing show. So I just really, before I like brainstorm, I'm like, okay, I want to have a place in everybody's closet, you know what I'm saying? No matter the age, I want it to be something that doesn't get stale, you know what I'm saying? I want something that is reborn every year, you know, and it's like our brand is, you know, even outside of fashion or just, you know, fresh shit, it's a battle cry for any sports team, you know what I'm saying, for any company in any industry. I've never seen a brand, you know what I mean, that has access to as many different industries as we do. And I just knew from the jump, like, okay, if we can get this foundation with Detroit, then people are going to look from the outside in and be drawn to that you know, message, because it's pretty much just the underdog message that everybody, it's a moment in your life in which you're going to feel like you versus everybody.